Okay, this episode is going to be weird because the entire chapter of this game is one single puzzle. This video is going to be less of an LP update and more of a puzzle walkthrough, which is good because as far as I can tell, I'm the only person to collect all pieces of this puzzle in one video. Before we begin, caution, you only get one chance to submit your answer in this puzzle, because if you enter the wrong combination, the blade will drop down and chop off your hand. Turns out that's what happened to Mother Dearest. But we can't even think about that part of it right now, because before we can find the code, we need to go on a treasure hunt. You see, the lock is big and very video gamey, therefore we need to collect 5 different relics to open it. The relics are scattered across the manor, and we'll have to backtrack to get them, so this might technically qualify as a Metroidvania, I'm not sure. Mother says that the relics are the cross of Pope/anti-Pope Clement III, an original Gutenberg Bible, 3 nails, presumably the ones from the crucifixion, an Armillary sphere, and Judas's secret DIY Messiah-side book. You can't even begin to interact with the door until you have these 5 things. You see, it turns out Mumsy had all of these together before. That's how she attempted the puzzle and lost her hand, but she chambered all over the manor, bleeding profusely, and returned them to their previous locations, just to make sure that we had a fetch quest. Luckily, she gives us a list of things to collect that she stole from Mortimer. There's more writing on it, but let's ignore this part for now. And we're going to start the puzzle in the arbitrary order that I listed them in a minute ago, for continuity's sake. The cross can be retrieved one of 2 ways. Either you beg your buddy Piaggi to loan you a centuries-old artifact for reasons you're not allowed to say, or you find the one that your mom dropped when she attempted this puzzle. You just have to look around this chamber, and you'll find it in the far right corner from where you started. That means when Mom got her hand chopped off, she didn't just drop it, but she tossed it all the way across the room, and she must have had like some backspin on it because it got around the pillars here. It's very impressive. Next, we must go retrieve the Gutenberg Bible, which we use in an earlier puzzle with the portraits if you remember. If not, you can go back and watch that video walkthrough. When we enter the room with it, we are greeted by George Washington. He has no recollection of the night's events, and he doesn't want to talk about anything but finding Mother and any clues pertaining to her. This could be a sign of possession, but it's equally likely that the president is just a callous ghoul, also in the game. Anyway, we can just stroll past him to collect the Bible. He serves to build tension, but he's not a threat in any real way.
The Bible's still there.
Third, we can locate the nails in Mortimer's study. Do you remember the code from earlier? If not, it's fine, because Mother will just tell you what it is. Could have really used that before, but you know how it goes. And Easter egg, when you go into Mortimer's study and you flip the switch under his desk, there is one very good frame that I want us all to appreciate. Anyway, we go in and retrieve the nails. It's straightforward. But this time, Louis has a revelation about the hypnosis book he found earlier.
Gilhelm Tremor. Tremor. An anagram of Mortimer. Wow. Arrogant enough to publish writings on mental control in full view of everyone. I wonder who he's writing for.
Also, I want to highlight that the skeleton of the architect who built this puzzle is here, and he's missing an arm too.
There. Those are the nails I was looking for. I noticed they were old and rusty, but I hadn't noticed these traces of... Could that be blood? Is it really the relic of the Holy Cross? I can hardly believe it.
Fourth, remember when I told you about the Armillary sphere in von Valner's room? If you forgot, I'm personally disappointed in you. See me after class. But seriously, this is the hardest one to find. If you talk to the characters around the manor, they'll just tell you where it is. We're pretty lucky Von Valner apparently just brings one wherever he goes. Or vacation astronomy, I suppose. I think we should take it for his own good.
Azusa messed up his reporting here, so Dr. Phil will take his place and say that we have to complete the Medusa puzzle one last time.
To retrieve how to kill Jesus without really trying. I am so glad this book wasn't a one-off joke. It's actually crucial to this puzzle. You can't open the vault without knowing at least 3 or 4 ways to kill Jesus in unarmed combat. Louis is newly suspicious of all of the artifacts in this room, so let's look at these again.
Caesar's laurel wreath. Mortimer really is what my mother says he is. It could mean... No, that's impossible. No, not Caesar. Now, given all the relics preserved here, it wouldn't surprise me if Mortimer claimed it was Excalibur. So that's Pandora's box? An urn? Mother seemed worried that I was able to open. I wonder why. Never mind. Now it's too late. So that's the Exegesis of Judas. I hope Mortimer doesn't read it very often, otherwise he's going to notice that someone's stolen it. But that's just too bad. I need it.
And that's all 5 items. Let's get back to the puzzle. The first thing you have to do is to uncover the theme of the puzzle. It appears to be the birth of Christ, but that's where our mom thought too, and she ended up with half of her arm missing. So, speaking of which, where is that arm? Is it still in the hole? Is that what she's been eating? But back to the puzzle. Anyone who's taken 2nd grade religion class with Miss Paulson knows that Christmas is a bullshit holiday. It's made up, no real spiritual significance. The most important event in Christianity isn't Jesus' birth, it's his death and subsequent resurrection. Oh, and parts of INRI, the inscription above the cross, can be seen here too. Looks like Mortimer didn't spring for primer when he was painting over the mural. So now let's actually start on the wheel. The outer ring has locations, Roman numerals, and numbers. And each has an empty nail-sized hole next to them. So the action you're supposed to take is kind of obvious here. Knowing which hole to put the nails into is the problem. There's nothing we can do yet, so let's check out the Exegesis. That's what they call Judas's secret tome. And what it has to say about our theme. In this book, the section about the crucifixion is chapter 19, which is XIX, and verse 17, so that's 2/3 of the puzzle right there. However, the passage only describes the site of the crucifixion as near Jerusalem. You may be tempted to put the nail in Jerusalem at this point, but don't. Near Jerusalem is not the same as Jerusalem. You consult the corresponding passage in the Gutenberg Bible. The actual location is given, Golgotha. My Christ heads can confirm that is where Jesus was actually crucified, so that's where we should put the 3rd nail. We do, and bada bing, bada boom, the aperture opens up completely, and here's the gore from our mother's attempt to do this puzzle, so we can eliminate one combination. We have 3 new rings, one with symbols, one with numbers and letters, and one with moon phases. We'll solve it from outside in. The outmost ring is simple-ish. All of these symbols represent part of Jesus' life and teachings. A dove, water, baby, a candle. But we don't care about Jesus' life here, we care about his death. So we need to choose a symbol to represent that, which would be the crown of thorns right here. Now Louis will straight up tell you not to align it vertically. Instead you have to align it with the mark by Golgotha. And it's good that he tells you this because otherwise it would just be intuition. Let's examine the middle wheel. 8A, 26M, 17R, and so on. What could this mean? Well, it's time to re-examine the dates Mother gave us before the scavenger hunt. There's an 8th of April here and a 26th of March, but no 17th of Robuary. I guess you could combine the 17th of October with its equivalent date on the Islamic calendar. I don't know why you would, but these are Mortimer's notes. He must have his own system. So we can just kind of intuit that this ring is dates, and it's still wicked unfair. Exegesis gives the date of the crucifixion as 8 Nisan, or Nisan, I don't know. 3793. That's the Hebrew calendar, by the way. So you look at the paper, and turns out there's 2 8 Nisans, and neither of them are 3793. So how are you supposed to figure out which of the two to use? Well, I have no idea. As far as I can tell, there's nothing in this game that hints at what you're supposed to do at this point. You just have to use outside information. Again, if you were in Miss Paulson's second grade religion class, you might be able to suss this one out. We need the year of the crucifixion. Jesus died at age 33, and only one of the dates Mother gave us corresponds to the Gregorian year 33 Anno Domini. If you don't have that knowledge just floating around your head, I suppose you just have to guess which one to use. It's very frustrating, but at least we have an answer.
The correct code is there for 26M.
We can align it with the Crown of Thorns and Golgotha. The final part is the easiest. It's basically just busy work. These are clearly the phases of the moon, and we have an armillary sphere. We used our armillary sphere, entered the corresponding Islamic date, and we do the thing. It's a half moon, we align it accordingly. It's easy, but it's not unreasonable to be exhausted after the last section. So at this point, everything is entered. XIX, 17, Golgotha, Crown of Thorns, 6M, and Half Moon. At this point, you just need to stick your hand in the inner chamber and pull the lever. And the door will open up, revealing something. The puzzle is done, and all it does is give us a cliffhanger. Do me a favor and leave a comment with what you think could possibly be behind this door that is Worf doing this tragically complex puzzle.